Okay, we're going to look at how to do the second part of the faded tab exercise. And for this, what you want to do is go to the document, the Word document that has the CSS information in it. And of course, that'll tell you to open up the instructions for Sublime and open a new file. And you want to make sure that you give that file a very specific name. So when we scroll up here in just a second, we'll see what that name is. But the extension on that is going to be CSS, and it's going to be faded tab CSS. So you want to make sure that you name it that exactly. Okay, so we're going to highlight this code. And once we're done highlighting that code, the very last thing we'll see is where it says left. We're going to go to edit and copy. And then we're going to go to Sublime. And if you have Sublime open already, you can, or pulled up already, you can just go ahead and open that. If not, you'll need to go to the sublimetext.com site and bring that up. Go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're going to come over here and go ahead and make sure that we save again as faded tab.css, and then we also want to save to our desktop, and then we're going to click save. So you're going to have two different things, or you should have two different things on your desktop now. You should have the faded tab HTML document that we did last time, and you can see I've got a lot of things on my desktop that I need to clean off, so you probably won't have quite as much stuff here, but you'll have the faded tab HTML and then the faded tab CSS. So we're going to go ahead and edit and paste in all of that CSS code now, and we're going to save this file. So file save. Okay, so now we have those two different files. Next step is going to be going to course documents, and you'll see where it says for CSS exercise, you're going to see a zip folder, so you want to click on that. I'm in Firefox, so what's going to happen is when I click save file, it's going to save up top, and then when I click on the downward arrow, I'm going to get this option to unzip the folder, which I'm going to go ahead and do and open up that file. I have a couple of different ones because I've done this a couple of different times, but yours is going to say faded tab, and then you can click on that folder. Now we want all of this on our desktop. You can, when you're done with the exercise, delete this because we're not going to be using this again afterwards, and then that way you won't have a whole lot of stuff on your desktop. But for now, it's the easiest way to just kind of keep it all together and know where everything is. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit shift and just keep going all the way down to the bottom of the folder. And I probably should have gave myself a little bit more room before I did that. And then you can just click and drag, and that's going to drag all of those files onto your desktop. And I had a couple already there that were the same files, so I'm just hitting replace on the ones that were there. And you, of course, won't have to do that because you'll be doing this for the first time. Then once that's done, we've got our graphics now, we've got our CSS file, we've got our HTML file. So now I want to make sure that that actually shows up all together as the faded tab template. So what we're going to do is you should look for on your desktop we're going to go back and we want the faded HTML. So faded HTML file that we created. Not the CSS file, but the faded HTML. And we're going to click on that. And it should open up in your browser window. And so if all worked well, what you've just done basically is built this website on your computer. We'd have to launch it on a server for it, or on a host for it to be live, but we can see it here and it looks pretty cool. So what we've done is we made the two files. The HTML file originally, which we saw last week, was not really fancy, but it had the basics, the headings, and so forth. And then we just added the CSS, the styles that were all written in a code. And they have things like this banner that goes across here, the specific fonts for things like the main title at the top of the page, and then a different color font, but I think that's still the same font for the headings here. And then the fact that when we click over these, they kind of do this little scrolly thing, which is kind of cool. So, and then we've got this gradient in the background. So everything kind of combined together to create the website. So that's the idea of linking a HTML and CSS file together and sort of combining all the code in one file. And we're going to do that again with another exercise that won't be won't have quite as much content on the website, won't have quite as much going on, but we're just going to do another exercise just to, again, kind of reinforce that idea of linking an HTML file and a CSS file. So what you want to do for the exercise, what you're going to turn in, is make sure I can see this up top here, and that's going to be, of course, it's not going to have my name on it, but just make sure I can see this area on your computer screen, and then just do a screenshot, and you can submit that to me on the discussion board on Blackboard for this assignment.